It's that time again, friends. That means Disney Plus is about to launch another new Marvel show. Is anybody even watching these anymore? I don't remember much talk about Ms. Marvel at all. Moon Knight, people watched the first few episodes and then seemed to stop watching it. Hawkeye was a train wreck. Loki was a disaster. I don't even remember the other ones at this point. They're so non-memorable. It just seems like all of these are meant to be connector pieces into the next one that's kind of leading nowhere at this point. And I think fans are getting sick of it. But here's what you can expect when She-Hulk launches tomorrow. We'll get into this in a second. My name is John Delarose. I'm a #1 best-selling author and award-winning comic creator. If you like, old school She-Hulk, check out my stuff. I mean, I don't really have the humor that John Byrne had in this book. It's a much more serious endeavor. But the style of art and things like that, we really harken it back to the 80s, and we really do some wonderful work. So this is where to go if you want actual comics with good storylines. It's not going to be found in New Marvel. It's not going to be found in New DC. It's going to be found here with independent alternatives. This link's in the description below. A lot of people have already checked this out already. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful stuff. Please support the channel. Grab that link right now. All right. Here we go. So they released the final trailer for She-Hulk here. And unlike the prior trailers, they really focused this on Bruce Banner / the Hulk. They kind of ignored him in that fact for the last several trailers on this. Like, he wasn't even going to be in it. People were speculating about that. And of course, now, after the fans reacted so poorly, it's like they're like, oh boy, we better let them know the real Hulk's in this. Otherwise, they're not going to watch it. But there's been some crazy talk about this all the way around. I mean, we had the head writer admitting that this was meant to be a legal procedural drama. Oh, joy. That's what we want out of a superhero film. Now, this was done in the comics a little bit. It was done by Charles Soule, and the art was awful on it. It was almost unreadable, where they tried to push this direction of the legal procedural drama. It made for a boring comic, and if that's what they're storyboarding in this, and this is where I think it is actually going, it's going to be a boring TV show also. It's going to be about people just sitting in a courtroom rather than superheroes going out and doing superheroic things. And that is really where these guys go wrong. Beyond the identity politics, beyond the strong female MCU, all this crap that they try to force upon everybody, they don't understand the basic appeal of superheroes, and that's being super. It's not a person with great powers who's got this hulking abilities doing ordinary things that ordinary people could do. That never was the appeal of this stuff, and that's where they've gone completely off the rails with a lot of these shows. And they do it not really because they think that it's going to make good programming. They do it because of budgetary reasons. If they just have her standing around doing legal procedures, they obviously don't have to put as much into the effects, don't have to put as much into the action scenes, the choreography. And it makes for a much cheaper show to produce. And for something on Disney Plus where they're not going to make the revenue like they do at movies anyway, that's exactly why they're doing it. It's all about cheaping things out. And I've noticed a big trend in the way that Disney's going over the last several different shows that they've been doing has been lowering the budget of what they're doing on the effects level and just on every other level for the shows that they're producing. Now, it doesn't just stop there, of course. Here we go. She-Hulk director Kat Coiro hopes Disney Plus series makes it quote, normal to have female superheroes. So they're already leaning into the, if you don't like this, you're sexist sort of thing. So the next thing we can expect out of this, after it being a boring legal procedural deal with a bunch of member berries about the Hulk, to try to remind you, you watched this because you loved those Avengers characters. But this is not those Avengers characters you loved. This is replacement characters. And they are pushing females, minorities, LGBT. You can expect that they're going to be putting some of that sprinkled in the background again as they're trying to make that push towards the grooming of their audience into LGBT superheroes, which is going to be the next phase or the one after that for sure. And here it is. Like, they always lean into this. It's not like every DC or Marvel superhero at this point is a strong female lead. They are, and we know it. It's unbelievable that they're trying to do this, but they're laying the groundwork. So when this fails and people online go, this is a bad show, it's not good, they're going to go, they're sexist, we warned you about this. That's going to be the big sort of takeaway from this, because they do this every time. They did this with Obi-Wan, with that lady. They wanted to paint all of the online people who didn't like the show as racist. They did this with Captain Marvel. Everybody was sexist. This is their go-to marketing approach at this point, because they don't actually have good storytelling to fall upon. And so they can't actually talk about how this is going to be a show. So that's it. That's exactly what I expect on this. I expect this to do poor ratings. Maybe the first one will do something. I expect that they're going to make a marketing case out of sexism. And I expect that we're going to continue to see these Disney Plus shows try to remind you why you like the old characters, try to tie them to them, but not really develop anything interesting of their own on these storylines. It's just going to be a continuing connecting plot to other stories and having the member berries along with them. All right. What do you think about this? Leave a comment down below with your predictions. Love to hear from you. Hit the like and subscribe button. And of course, don't forget to back alternatives to this corporate media with Overmind right now. I'd love to get a TV show of my books done. If there's any producers out there, I'd love to hear from you too. All right. See you guys.